After having landed in 865 AD, the Danish Viking army, or the Great Heathen Army, conquers all but one of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. The years between 872 and 877 AD are filled with military defeats and oppression at the hands of this marauding army for all of the peoples of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. The story of this invasion is set out in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle in the Old English language and is the subject of the reading in this video in its original language. And the source I'm using is given in this link here, which I'll put in the description below the video. So a map, campaign map if you like, landing in 865, Kent, East Anglia, and moving around in the immediate years, overcoming Mercians, the Northumbrians, and eventually the East Anglians. And then the years that are the subject of this video, from 872 to 877, the green arrows here, the campaigns here against Wessex, but also against the Mercians and Northumbrians. And the version of the Chronicle that I'm using, the Parker Chronicle, can be found at this link here, which is in the description below the video. And it's this section here that is the subject of the reading today. Herefore say Herre to Lundenbury from Redingum, and thar winter settler nam. And thar namen myrche forthwith on a herre. An image here of Vikings raiding a monastery, and the savagery and the violence of their raids. For them, violence was quite a glorious thing. And the wealth of monasteries was far too inviting for them to look away from, far too tempting. Herefore say Herre on Northumbria, and he nam winter settler on Lindisdessa at Turches ie, and thar namen myrche forthwith on a herre. Seaborne raiders attacking and being repulsed by land-based defenders. These ships would suddenly appear from the sea and attack villages, towns, monasteries. In that sense, they were very good at raiding the Vikings, but then they'd been doing that for thousands of years. And interestingly, the Anglo-Saxons had been doing it prior to the coming to the British Isles. That had been their culture too. They too had been sea raiders for, again, thousands of years. Herefore say Herre from Lindessa to Hareapaduna, and thar winter settler nam, and thona kuning burgerad over sa adarafdon toa and 20 winter thas there he, richa havde, and that lond olje eadon, and he for to Roma, and thar ye sat. And his leech leith on Sancta Marian Chirurgean on Angel Kunis Schola, and thu ilcanjere hier seld on anum unwisum Kuningas Theana Mirchna Jariche to Haldana, and he him Arthur Sawar and Jesla Salda, that he him jero. Wara Sawaha Welcher Dia Sawahia hit Haban Walden. And he jero war mid him selvum, and on alum tham the him lastan Waldon, to thas heres therve. And the shield walls facing each other. You imagine the intensity, the noise, the yelling, the aggression, the adrenaline. The two shield walls approaching each other and could be locked in combat for hours like that. Here for se here from Harea Peduna, and Helftene for midsumum tham here on Northumbere, and the nam winter settler Bettinan thara air, and se here that lond hier eerde, and oft here chade on peachtas, and on sa trach led Wallace. And for Godurum, and Oshetel, and Andwind, tha thare Kuningas, of Harea Peduna, to Garanta Beruja, mid Michle Hera, and sat on thar an Year, and thu Sumara, for Alfared Kuning Ut, on sa mid ship Hera, and je vecht with Seovon ship Halastas. And here an je feng, and tha Otharu je fleemde. And we see here King Alfred with his penchant for planning, for thinking, for working with his monks and scribes, working for the good of the kingdom of Wessex, and ultimately of all England. And sea warfare in that time. Remembering at this time King Alfred was developing the English navy and was building ships to engage the Viking ships at sea, as was the subject of the previous reading. And Anglo-Saxon and Viking fighting each other. Here ne bersatal se here into Werham, Wessex na fierde, and withon a here se kuning Faristnam, and him tha Arthur Saworon on tham halchan beche. There here are nanare theode Noldon, that here redliche of his riche foren. And here tha under tham here nichtes, bersatalon thar fierde, se je harsode here into eshan cheaster. And thu here helftene narthan humbara lond jedalda, and yenda waren and here till yenda. And Viking army on the rampage. The image is evocative of what it must have been like to be close to such a charging wall of men hell-bent on violence. Here quom se here into eshan cheastare from Werham, and se ship here see lede west Umbutan, and tha meta here Mitchell Ust on sa, and thar for worth 120 shipper at Swanowich, and say Kuning Alfred after tham je Harsudan here. Midfjörde rad of exen chester, and here hindan of ridan neemechte hier on tham fastene waren, thar him on to neemechte, and here him thar for Jeslas Saldon, soa fella soa he haban wolde. And Mitchla Arthur Saworon, and tha godna ferrith healdon, and tha on hare festa, je for, se here on mirjna lond, and hit je daldon sum, and sum chel wolfe saldon. And again, two shield walls closing with each other. And the intensity of the fighting you can see, and thousands of men in a long line in multiple ranks surging towards each other with spear, sword, axe, seax, and any other weapon they could find. And the statue of King Alfred, Winchester, in Hampshire today.